1 year ago, same teams, same location, 6 seconds to go. The Roadrunners looking for their first ever NCAA tournament berth. Diedrich Basil, the game-winning 3 at the buzzer, and the Roadrunners were dancing. Take a look at the brackets and how these two teams got here tonight. CSU Bakersfield, you heard Adrian Branch mention it, a 4-overtime thriller last night against Utah Valley, and New Mexico State defeating UMKC 78-60. We welcome you inside the Orleans Arena. The first bucket of the game goes to the Aggies. Aggies trying to take advantage of that 4-overtime long game that Bakersfield participated in yesterday. As we take a look at CSU Bakersfield head coach Rod Barnes in his 6th season, took the team to their first ever NCAA tournament appearance last year. Former player and head coach at Ole Miss.
Was also the SEC Coach of the Year at one time and the Player of the Year in the SEC. Only person to do that.
The only person to ever take CSU Bakersfield to the NCAA tournament. Now a chance to do it on back-to-back seasons.
And his team really can defend you. They can lock you up. Where they struggle is on this end of the floor.
Still searching for their first bucket. CSU Bakersfield averaging just 71 points per game.
And that 4-overtime win last night against Utah Valley. They had 23 field goals. They had 32 free throws. More free throws than field goals in 4 overtimes.
Jonathan Wilkins to the free throw line. Paul Weir, first-year head coach for New Mexico State. Spent the last 9 seasons as the assistant coach and associate head coach in 2 different positions. And he's a guy, he wants to get his team out and moving.
Well, New Mexico State had a 20-game winning streak during the season. Second only to Gonzaga. Coach Weir has this team connected. He has them confident. Took the job in April, has a chance to get an NCAA tournament appearance as a head coach. And within 1 year.
He talked about it with us earlier before the game. This was a team that last year, even though he was the assistant coach, a much different style. They wanted to play in the half court. They wanted to slow you down. They ranked among the slowest teams in the country in terms of pace of play. He's completely flipped that script here this year.
They are a fast-paced team, a high-possession team. They're good against the three-point shot defensively. Do a great job on the offensive glass.
Aggies holding teams to under 30% from 3 this season and a foul inside on New Mexico State.
I'll tell you what, New Mexico State is going to have a great challenge just trying to score the ball tonight. If they can score with pace, their defense is good enough to win this game. The question is, against that stifling defense of the Roadrunners, can they score with pace?
Basil, the hero from last year at the free throw line, the WAC tournament MVP from a year ago. And Paul, are you surprised with how Bakersfield has struggled this season on the offensive end? Are you surprised with their record and how far they've been able to come, overcoming that offensive problem?
Offensive woes. I mean, they win ugly, but they win a lot of games. And Coach Barnes talked about it to us today at the shoot-around. They emphasize defense, but they also know the only way this team can win is through their defense. They know they're not a good shooting team. So this team has total buy-in on the defensive end.
They get a steal on that defensive end. This is Brent Rapp.
He's the key to their team, 1 in the white. Doesn't score a lot of points, but he runs the show. He sets up the offense, and he's a great assist maker.
Leads the team in assists, actually 4th in the conference.
See how slow they are trying to get into their action after the initial thrust.
Harrington missing from the free throw line, and the Roadrunners still searching for their first field goal.
But it's amazing, they can go in scoring droughts, but yet get consecutive stops on the defensive end. I haven't seen a team like this in a long time. They're in great position. They really put a lot of pressure on the ball.
And a rejection inside by Motez Ali. And he retains possession after the block.
Such a good shot blocking team. CSU Bakersfield, they protect the rim. They force that drive to the bigs. And they swallow it up. double high ball screen and then sending a runner off the screen.
Nobody in front of Brent Rapp, who drains the three. First field goal of the game for Bakersfield. First lead for the Roadrunners.
Rapp only shoots it at 29%, but you can forget about his numbers. He's a big-time shot maker.
Huggins airmailing the three. Offensive rebound for the Aggies.
The Aggies want to get it inside. Post 22 on the black. Chua.
Good hands on defense by Diedrich Basil. And it's an early lead for the defending champion CSU Bakersfield Roadrunners. When we come back, we'll take a look at one of the best games in WAC tournament history, and it happened just 24 hours ago.
Brought to you by Bass Pro Shop. The adventure starts here in the all-new Alfa Romeo Giulia. Some cars take your breath away, only one gives it back.
Last night, one of the greatest games in WAC Tournament Conference history in the semifinals. CSU Bakersfield, a 4-overtime thriller over Utah Valley. Paul Biancardi, you were courtside. What did you see?
I saw a lot of big-time plays, shots, stops. I saw some ugly basketball, but Utah Valley gave CSU Bakersfield all they could handle. How about this game had 18 lead changes. Score was tied 22 times. Only 161 points, though, in 4 overtimes. I expected more points.
CSU Bakersfield, WAC champions last season, ending New Mexico State's 4-year championship run. The Aggies looking to start another run here tonight.
I'll tell you what, keep an eye on Utah Valley next year. Head coach Mark Pope, he had his team ready to play. I was so impressed, though, with the fight, the resiliency of CSU Bakersfield. The ability to defend and not score was amazing in 4 overtimes.
They scored 81 points last night in 4 overtimes. They averaged 71 points in regulation.
Listen, they won a game shooting 29% from the field and 16% from 3. You know why? Because they guarded.
Just how Coach Barnes drew it up. Coach Barnes took over CSU Bakersfield. They had never won more than 9 games in Division I level. 22 wins this year, 24 last year.
You talk about offensive machines. This is a defensive-minded team. As I said before, they will grind you and wear you down with their defense.
Whistle from the far side, a foul on Bakersfield. Foul on Bakersfield as we take a look at where these two teams rank nationally.
New Mexico State, they guard the three-point shot, top 10 in the nation. They really do a great job on the offensive glass. That's where they get some second chance points, and they're going to need those points tonight against the stifling defense of Bakersfield.
Roadrunners come up with a steal. Now they want to push it up tempo. Up with the left hand, Basil not there. Loose ball, fought for and a held ball. Possession arrow in favor of the Aggies. Aggies will retain possession. Up by 1. And we haven't seen a ton of it on the Aggies defensive end. We talk so much about CSU Bakersfield and their defensive end. But Coach Weir, he likes to run that full court press, put pressure on their opponents.
He loves to put pressure on the tempo of the game, New Mexico State. They want a fast-paced game, no whistles. That's how they prefer it. They're going to play a little elbow basketball right here. Look at that defense, the denial, the tap.
Lazy pass, and Arrington, the steal, foul on the Aggies.
Well, CSU Bakersfield, as I mentioned, ranked nationally in scoring defense. They only give up 63 points a game. They force 17 turnovers a game. That's 7th in the nation. They also force 8.5 steals a game. That's top 10 in the nation. Look, they don't touch any offensive categories, but they check all the boxes on the defensive end. And if you're not strong and tough on offense and make a lot of hard cuts and move to get open without the basketball, you're in for a long night.
Nowhere to go on the offensive end for Matt Smith. He was caught in the air. Turnover on Bakersfield. 2 turnovers on Bakersfield, 3 on the Aggies.
CSU Bakersfield was down 8 with 4 minutes to go against Utah Valley. Made a great comeback because they extended their man-to-man defense. They went into some zone pressure. They really turned up the heat defensively.
Haley, baseline drive, and another steal by the Roadrunners.
Eric, the passing is not great, but the hands are everywhere for the Roadrunners. And you see the way they move their feet on the airtime of a pass or on the dribble from the Aggies. 5 guys moving as one against the ball.
Everybody on Bakersfield looks like a free safety in the NFL, just jumping passing lanes, looking for interceptions. Motaz Ali back into the game for the Bakersfield, a big shot blocker as we see Haley in the baseline drive. Nowhere to go, just no options.
That's because the defense tried to shut off the baseline. They rotated down on the weak side. That was beautiful team defense by Bakersfield.
4 turnovers for New Mexico State. Bakersfield, however, trailing by 1.
When you play against a team this good defensively, you have to keep the ball in the middle of the floor, right there, and play in the middle of the floor. You got to play from the middle of the floor out. Once you're on the side, they're going to lock you up and keep you there.
Jamario Jones lost the ball off of his foot. Turnover number 5 on the Aggies.
And when you beat the Roadrunners a little bit off the bounce, they shrink the floor, recover so well. They force you into a turnover, or they'll steal it from you.
The issue, though, with the Roadrunners is they play so well defensively, so poorly offensively, that no matter how well they play defensively, no matter how many turnovers they generate on their opponents, it never seems like an opponent is out of the game.
No, not at all. But they're never out of the game either. Being down 8 against Utah Valley, Coach Barnes told me today, he said, look, guys came to the bench and said, we got this.
Diedrich Basil, the mid-range jumper for Bakersfield. Inside the other way, Matt Taylor is fouled. And Taylor, the redshirt junior out of Toronto, will head to the line for the Aggies.
Well, this Aggies team can score the ball so well because of Ian Baker and Braxton Huggins in the backcourt. They got some guys in the paint that can score. Matt Taylor, we see right now, heading to the line. He's a mismatch problem. 6'4", 48% from the field. He likes that mid-post, that low-post area.
And he's a guy that Coach Weir told us they can rely on him to guard the opponent's best player game in and game out.
He does a great job on the defensive end. I love 22 in the black, Eli Chula. 6'7", 220. He has a paint game, a jump hook. They need to go inside to him, and they will during the course of the game. This is a balanced offensive scoring attack for the Aggies. 79 points a game.
Led by, as you mentioned, Ian Baker, the WAC Player of the Year this season. Chua, you also mentioned, leading the conference in field goal percentage. And here's that full court pressure that the Aggies want to put on, but they commit a foul. And it's Jamario Jones. It's that fine line of strong full court defense, Paul, but not wanting to pick up a foul 55 feet away from the basket.
No question, because now what you do is you have a chance for Bakersfield to get organized against the pressure. You see it, it's a 2-2-1. You want to get someone to the middle, someone sideline, someone deep opposite. There's the sideline.
It's Arrington inside to Ali. Up and under. Motaz Ali. Big center from Egypt. Quickly the other way. Aggies missing at the cup. Jamario Jones couldn't finish. And now some pace between these two teams. And as I say that, Bakersfield brings it to a halt.
Well, fast pace, advantage Aggies. Slow pace, grind it out. CSU Bakersfield.
And a traveling violation. And a simultaneous warning to the New Mexico State bench. Traveling violation was on Bakersfield. I think initially Coach Paul Weir thought his team was going to get called for a foul. Instead, a traveling violation on Bakersfield. 8-7, Roadrunners on top. Eric Rothman, Paul Biancardi with you here at the Orleans Arena.
You see how the Aggies really have to cut hard, change speed, change direction to get open. Nothing is going to be easy against the Roadrunners. They pressure every pass and catch.
That time it was Motaz Ali pressuring on the inside. Another turnover on the Aggies. Their 6th. They trail CSU Bakersfield by 1 early. Bright lights of the Las Vegas Strip for the WAC Championship. CSU Bakersfield on top of New Mexico State by 1 here, nearing the midway point of the first half. Paul Biancardi, take us beyond the bucket.
New Mexico State with their 2-2-1 3/4 court press in the black uniforms. CSU Bakersfield in the white getting organized against the press with their press offense. They get a 2-guard attack, freeze it right there. Against this defense, you want to have sideline, deep opposite, and short corner. Let it go. They hit the sideline man. That brings up the defender. Now they turn and face short corner. Motaz Ali with the attack and the finish. You not only want to break pressure, Eric, you want to attack to score it.
Coach Rod Barnes, his 6th season with the Roadrunners, has made this team a perennial contender in the WAC since moving to Division I just 10 years ago. This is going to be a good league over the next couple of years. New Mexico State, CSU Bakersfield, Grand Canyon getting status in Division I and being eligible next season.
And I talked about Utah Valley with Mark Pope, and UMKC with Kareem Richardson had a great season.
Utah Valley knocked off BYU in Provo.
I'm really impressed with the coaches. Tracy Dildy from Chicago State did a terrific job with his team this year.
Brent Rapp, the guard out of Boulder, Colorado, known for his assists, but he's got a couple of big shots here in the first half.
And this guy controls the pace, the tempo, and he's the leader for CSU Bakersfield.
Ball knocked loose, batted around, and another turnover on the Aggies, number 7.
If you chart deflections, they got to have 10 already.
Sean Briggs, the forward, gets inside, easy bucket, and it's now a 5-0 run for the Roadrunners.
You see the versatility of Briggs. He breaks the press offense a moment ago with the sideline pass. That time he finishes at the rim.
6 steals, 7 turnovers that the Roadrunners defense has generated so far in this one. Eli Chua inside to Taylor, and Taylor will go back to the free throw line.
More defense by CSU Bakersfield. This time it's Sean Briggs with the hands, deflections, taps, and the finish by Briggs. Strong power dribble.
So now Taylor back to the free throw line as it's a 6-0 CSU Bakersfield run until that free throw. New Mexico State without a field goal in the last 5 minutes and 8 seconds. So already we're seeing the effects of this Roadrunner defense.
Well, that's going to happen throughout the course of this game anytime you play the Roadrunners. The key for New Mexico State and head coach Paul Weir, keep coaching confidence, keep running what you do well. They went over all their offensive sets today at shoot around. Attack the rim, get to the foul line, offensive rebound, some second chance points. You got to find points in this game.
Only been able to find 9 so far. As a team, New Mexico State has only taken 5 field goal attempts. Matt Smith to the rack and an offensive foul.
The Aggies can guard you as well. Good athletes, good length. And that defense got to that spot quickly. He's definitely outside the restricted arc. And that angle looked like a bang-bang play. Good defensive awareness that time.
So Smith will take a seat. Falou and Endoy, who had the game winner last night, checks in for the first time. Paul, I mentioned it just a second ago, but the Aggies have only attempted 5 field goals now nearing the midway point of the first half. 1 field goal attempt per every 2 minutes of play so far. That's just the 6th attempt of the game.
That's a wide open 3 from Matt Taylor.
Basil had it stripped, and it will stay with the Roadrunners.
I mean, you're not going to get a more open shot than Matt Taylor just got from 3. You got to keep shooting it when you're open. That's his 7th straight start. He's playing good basketball right now for the Aggies.
Halfway through the first, Bakersfield 12, New Mexico State 9, Eric Rothman, Paul Biancardi at the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas. One of these teams will have their ticket punched to the NCAA tournament here tonight. And Dietrich Basil, the hero from last year, getting the runner.
Well, Basil had 18 points last night against Utah Valley. Second team all-WAC.
He had 18 points in the championship game against New Mexico State last season. So these Aggies very familiar with the potent offensive ability of Dietrich Basil. And the Aggies still cold, 2 for 7 from the floor.
Great defensive rebound by Briggs, 2 hands in traffic. See how deliberate CSU Bakersfield in the offense. They don't like what they have. They reset. They make you guard.
Endoy, good seal, couldn't finish.
Endoy made that shot last night as the game winner against Utah Valley. Same spot, left hand. You'd rather make the one last night than that one right now, Eric.
That one meant quite a bit more. As you see, New Mexico State struggling, just 29% from the floor. They've only attempted 7 field goals here in the first half through just about 12 minutes of play. There's number 8, their 3rd missed three-pointer.
The Aggies get 13 offensive rebounds a game. That's tops in the WAC. Right now they only have 1 offensive rebound. 6 missed shots. They have to make offensive rebounding part of their offense tonight.
Basil, good hesitation. 6 on the shot clock. Briggs thinking about it a long time and then reins in the long 2-pointer.
He's 50% from the field because his shots come inside the arc.
10-2 Bakersfield run over the last 5 minutes of play. And a foul on the inside and will send the Aggies to the free throw line. Sean Briggs, the junior, thought about it, finished with 2 on the shot clock, and the Roadrunners on top looking to repeat. It's a 7-point first half lead for CSU Bakersfield over New Mexico State in the WAC championships here in Las Vegas. Champ Week and all its drama continues Sunday with 2 more championship games on ESPN. We'll have the SEC title game at 1 Eastern. Then the final automatic turning ticket will be punched by the winner of the Frontier Communications American Championship game. That one tips at 3:15. And as always, both games are streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. And Paul, Arkansas, Kentucky, Kingsley, and Fox going to be a great battle on ESPN at 1 tomorrow.
Well, Kentucky got by Alabama today because they dominated the free throw line. That's the type of game John Calipari wants to play. They were 27 of 39 from the stripe. Only took 14 threes. I'll tell you what, Arkansas gets that one. They leave no doubt.
Absolutely.
And that's what you want to do as a coach. If you can be in that position to control your own fate and destiny, that's all you can ask for.
Speaking of free throws, you mentioned with Kentucky. How about the New Mexico State Aggies with that free throw by Jamario Jones? They have 6 made free throws, 6 of their 10 points here in the first nearly 13 minutes of this one have come from the free throw line.
Well, they're not getting to the rim, but they are creating fouls. That SMU-Cincinnati game, either one of those teams could be Cinderella and make a run to the Final Four. So well coached, so balanced offensively and defensively, SMU and Cincinnati.
Eric Rothman, Paul Biancardi, former Horizon League Coach of the Year, with you in Las Vegas, Nevada. CSU Bakersfield going for the WAC tournament repeat. Mexico State has won 4 of the last 5 WAC championships, except for last year when they lost in buzzer-beating fashion to these Roadrunners. Foul on the inside. It's an offensive one. And this one is going to be on Tanvir Boulard, who just checked into the game. The big 7'2" center from Ontario, Canada.
His brother, Sid Boulard, played here at New Mexico State. Big 7-footer right now. He's playing over in China, pro basketball.
And Coach Paul Weir has recruited well from his native Canada. And Boulard, the brothers, a couple from our neighbors up north.
Dan Schulman likes to say. Our Canadian play-by-play. He gets so excited when I tell him about Canadian recruits. I've never seen anybody get so excited about it before. There's that triple screen on the baseline.
Briggs face up, 4 on the shot clock. Rapp got bumped, no whistle. He was looking for it. Briggs lets it go at the buzzer. And Rapp still jawing with the referees as he trots back, wanted a foul. And now Rapp gets a steal. Loose ball pickup.
Good defensive transition by the Aggies. Getting back.
Ndoye, the center from Senegal, by way of France. Sweet turnaround hook by Falou Ndoye.
Ndoye is the transfer, as you mentioned, from Mississippi State. Starting to come on offensively on that block. You see he has the little jump hook down, right and left hand.
Chance Ellis missing the 3. Offensive rebound for the Aggies. And now a traveling violation. Another turnover on New Mexico State.
What a closeout by the Roadrunners. They forced that turnover, but Ndoye, nice and patient, nice and poised. Gathers, extends. Beautiful jump hook by the big fella.
10 turnovers on the Aggies. 1 more point than they have turnovers. Just 4 for CSU Bakersfield. Bakersfield has got 8 of their 18 off of those 10 turnovers by the Aggies. And every possession for the Roadrunners kills so much clock. Rapp, dribble drive, and 1! Rapp to the free throw line.
Outstanding move by 1 in the white. Brent Rapp. Not the fastest guy on the court, but he understands how to change his speed. Dip that shoulder in, take on the big, get it up to the rim. His numbers do not impress you, Eric. 40% from the field, not great. 29% from 3, not good at all. 70% from the line, not bad. But he makes all the big plays. CSU Bakersfield.
And he doesn't make mistakes. Top 40 in the nation in assist-to-turnover ratio.
I was getting to that one. I mean, you talk about trust. Coach Rod Barnes has the ultimate trust in Brent Rapp.
A strip and a foul. Sean Briggs, a 15-4 run right now for Bakersfield.
Brent Rapp's only had 5 turnovers in the last 6 games. He values the ball. High assist guy. So if you get open, Rapp's going to find you. He's a guy you want to play with. He's the teammate that you should be.
Well, with all those assists, he makes his teammates look good.
He makes his teammates look good, and he makes his team better.
Mario Jones at the free throw line for the Aggies. This guy is a high-energy guy off the bench. Coach Paul Weir has wanted at times to put him in the starting lineup, but Jones is such a spark off the bench that even though maybe his talent and his numbers deserve a starting nod, he's too much to them as their 6th man.
You need someone to accept their roles, to come off the bench, to understand the dynamics of a team. Not everybody can score, not everybody can start. When you have a team that understands their roles, you have a connected team.
Rapp, Harlem Globetrotters dribble, keeps it alive. Ndoye muscles it up and in. Bakersfield showing no signs of fatigue after that 4 overtime thriller last night against Utah Valley.
Just look at their legs. They're all their knees are bent. Their butts are down. They're in a defensive stance. They move their feet. This is a clinic defensively.
A whistle up top, away from the play on Bakersfield.
There's Rapp coming off the ball screen. He understands how to create some space. Good defense that time by Baker. But he keeps controlling. Ndoye, strong finish. Rapp didn't panic, hit the ground, got up, kept his dribble alive. High IQ basketball player, big time leader and winner.
This guy, Eli Chua, he has been real quiet here in the first half. And if New Mexico State wants to get back into this game, they need Chua, who averages nearly a double-double this season.
He's had 14 double-doubles this season in the WAC. Oh, what a post feed.
Endoy, the monster slam, and Bakersfield up by 13. Turnover on the Aggies, everything going the way of the Roadrunners.
Watch 23 in the white. I'm sorry, watch right now, Endoy at the rim. 15 in the white with the finish.
Now it looks like Mexico State is trying to call a timeout. Some confusion as to whether or not Coach Weir is actually calling a timeout or not. The Roadrunners went to their bench, now they're back on the floor. Bakersfield up a baker's dozen. Under 4.5 to play here in the first.
I like that.
Thank you.
See, they throw it ahead to beat the pressure and they look to attack, but right away the IQ and the sense to pull it out, reset their offense, and try to grind you in the half-court set.
Basil, he's got a mismatch against the big
good hand
7-footer Wilkins. And now a foul. Foul after the turnover will be on Bakersfield. And still, we are 16 minutes into this game, and the Aggies have only attempted 9 field goals total. They have gotten 8 of their 12 points from the free throw line. Referees deciding a non-shooting foul on the play.
We talked about New Mexico State in the open, averaging 79 points a game. They're a long way away from that. The tempo right now is in the favor of CSU Bakersfield.
Smart play as Chua brought the ball through, and a foul on Endoy. And Brent Rapp and CSU Bakersfield getting it going offensively. Easy dump off to the big man Endoy, and it's a 13-point lead. Endoy, the monster inside.
Brendan Fitzgerald with Adrian Branch back in studio. Coming up on the Audi halftime report, we'll check in on the Pac-12 title game, and also Duke takes it down in the ACC. How do you play more than 16 minutes and shoot it 9 times?
You got to keep shooting it again until it goes in.
New Mexico State trying to get some offense going. Eric, Paul, back to you. See you in a few minutes.
All right, thank you very much, Brendan, and we will see you at the half as Bakersfield on top of New Mexico State 25-12. And Paul Biancardi, we have talked about the stifling defense for the Roadrunners, and really the only offense that the Aggies have been able to generate has been when the Roadrunners have gotten too aggressive with that aggressive defense and sent them to the free throw line.
Well, the Aggies have 11 turnovers, and CSU Bakersfield have 11 points from those mistakes. So you're feeding right into the offense of Bakersfield. If you take those points away off the turnovers, New Mexico State would be up 2 right now.
9 of New Mexico State's 13 points have come from the free throw line. They are 2 for 9 from the floor. As CSU Bakersfield looking for a repeat. Eric Rothman, Paul Biancardi with you at the Orleans Arena.
You can't defend points off of turnovers. There's no scouting report to say, hey, this is how you defend points off of turnovers. They're going to happen quick. They're going to happen fast.
Pick and roll. Endoy kick out. Durham's 3 lips out.
And the way the Aggies can score is to get down the court, fast break points. Right now they don't have any.
Ian Baker, the miss. Tip follow not there. Basil up ahead, rejected and fouled.
Watch the passing awareness of Brent Rapp. Number 1, he throws that outlet so far ahead, and Basil has to run to catch to it. And that leads to a fast break, and it puts the Roadrunners at the line.
It's okay, Basil's a speedster.
He looked like Lonzo Ball right there, Brent Rapp. You know, as soon as he pulled down the defensive rebound, snapped that ball out ahead.
Similar colored jerseys. And for the Aggies, Paul. We talked about it. WAC Player of the Year, Ian Baker, after that miss in their last possession for New Mexico State, he doesn't have a single point in this one.
Well, they got to find him the basketball. Doesn't have a single shot either attempt. With Braxton Huggins and Ian Baker. 29 points between them. They have to get going in this game. They are the spark plugs for the Aggies offensively.
Chua, double team, wrap, another steal. He has been superb on defense tonight. Transition three, Durham can't hit.
Rapp just gets in there before the ball even gets there. The alertness in that young man's game is extraordinary.
12 turnovers on the Aggies, down by 13. Nice pass. Chua stripped, picked up by Wilkins, and one. Just the third field goal of the game for New Mexico State, and a chance for an extra point from the free throw line.
Well, you're not going to get anything easy at the rim against Bakersfield. That time Wilkins takes the hit. Good focus and concentration with a chance for a three-point play. Understand this, when you get into the paint, the defense is going to shrink the floor. And if you're going to continue, you're going to have to take a hit and a bump, or you're going to have to throw it out. There is no straight line drives to the rim against Bakersfield.
Roadrunners will make you work.
And they make you work overtime.
4 overtimes to be exact.
There you go, I led you right into that. You got to work overtime on offense, not defense against this team.
10-point Roadrunner advantage nearing the 2-minute mark of the first half. Alley-oop, tough pass, kept alive. 2 on the shot clock, and Doy, did he get rid of it? No, shot clock violation.
Little back screen lob action. Aggie sniffed it out, got a piece of it. Good defensive stand. Last 2 minutes right now for New Mexico State. You have to score somehow, some way. The offensive glass, if you miss, get to the free throw line, take a high percentage shot, and you have to come up with a couple of consecutive stops. Cut this in half by halftime.
Otaz Ali back into the game for the Roadrunners. Falu Endoy to the bench. 13 turnovers on the Aggies. A run out, Briggs, a man behind him, shrugs him off for the layup.
That looked like a self-inflicted turnover. I mean, the Roadrunners are there, they're on you. They put pressure on the ball, but you got to be better than that in a championship game.
Pick and roll inside Chua, he got fouled.
CSU Bakersfield averages 8.5 steals a game. That time was a turnover. Guess you could call it a steal at the end.
Counts as one in the books.
They have the Aggies unsure right now offensively. Every time they pass and catch the Aggies, they're not playing with confidence.
Chua to the free throw line. Gets the first one to go. Folks, Champ Week and all its drama continues Sunday with 2 more championship games on ESPN2. We'll have the first ever Ivy League Tournament Championship game from the Palestra at noon Eastern. Then the Sun Belt title game at 2. Both games streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN.
I got to get on that red eye tomorrow to watch all those games.
You lose an hour in the air, too.
Doesn't matter. Selection Sunday, championship games. Nothing better.
Errant pass and a turnover on the Roadrunners, and these Aggie fans who have traveled from Las Cruces are trying to give some energy to New Mexico State.
Well, the energy right now is with the Roadrunners, and it's all defensive energy.
Under a minute to play now in the first half. Dump off Chua, rejected Ali, and a putback by Jamario Jones.
One of the best offensive possessions of the night for the Aggies. The straight line drive, the dump off, then the second chance point.
Aggies trying to take some momentum into the halftime break. They went 4 for 14 so far in the first half, and to go into the half down single digits would be remarkable.
This is a huge defensive stance psychologically for the Aggies.
Half-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Rapp, 3 to shoot. Has to get rid of it, and he's fouled. Bailed out by Chua, and he's got to watch himself if he doesn't want to get a technical.
Watch one in the white, folks. Brent Rapp. So crafty, so clever. The pump fake. Draws the foul. You see with .3 on the clock. What a chance for a double-digit lead going into the half. The heart and soul of the CSU Bakersfield team. Brent Rapp.
Rapp to the free throw line. Chua picks up his second personal. Bakersfield looking for their second straight trip to the NCAA tournament.
He's been playing with a hurt meniscus all season long.
It'll look like it tonight. Been all over the court, and Bakersfield has been all over this one. Up 29-20 at the half over New Mexico State. And we have some confusion here before the teams head to the locker room, and now the final buzzer sounds, indicating it is halftime here in Las Vegas. Bakersfield 29, New Mexico State 20, as we send it to the studio with Brendan Fitzgerald and Terrapin legend Adrian Branch. Gentlemen.
Welcome to the Audi Halftime Report.
I'm sitting with a legend.
I know, now people behind the scenes, my Terps, I give my Terps love.
Terrapin legend Adrian Branch. I'm Brendan Fitzgerald.
You got to give me 5 on that.
So it's a lead for CSU Bakersfield at halftime on New Mexico State. And earlier this season, Paul Weir, the rookie head coach for New Mexico State, says, we don't want to be in 54, 52 games. We want possession count up and shot attempts up. This is not their game plan.
Right now, it's shocking because they're first in conference with points. They're first with the fewest turnovers at 13 a game, and also with rebounding margin. So right now, they've got to erase that first 20 minutes because that's not them. That's true. They like to get out there, get into the pace, get into the flow of the game. And then it's surprising because Bakersfield is coming off a 4 overtime game against Utah Valley. So they are into this. They're comfortable, shooting nearly 50%. Let's see if New Mexico State can make that quick turnaround, because it's got to be an attitude adjustment of pushing the tempo and trying to get to the free throw line as well.
The moment is not too big for New Mexico State. They've gone to the NCAA tournament 4 out of the last 5 years. What do you think Coach Weir's telling his team after a subpar 20 minutes?
Oh, man, I'm going to go with an Aaron Rodgers football. Relax. You got to breathe. You got to take your time. We know that the stakes are high. We know it's one and done. But now the season comes down to 20 minutes. This is what you practice for. This is what you execute. This is time and score. But, again, you got to get back to your personality and get comfortable. When you're comfortable, the game expands. You make better decisions. You play off of one another. Shooting under 30%, 22% for the game in the first half is not their personality.
Right now, Bakersfield has a 9-point lead at halftime. It was Bakersfield that got New Mexico State earlier this season, snapped their 20-game win streak, and, of course, got them last season in the WAC championship game at the last second. Bakersfield went into the tournament. They challenged Oklahoma before the Sooners made their run to the Final Four. As you can see, it's Aggies and it's Roadrunners, and it's been dominated in the WAC.
That was an impressive first half that they had. Again, coming off a 4 overtime game last night.
Looking for back-to-back trips are the Roadrunners.
This halftime report is presented by Audi. Welcome back to the Audi Halftime Report.
So at the Orleans Arena is the WAC championship. Down the street at T-Mobile is Oregon taking on Arizona for the Pac-12 title. No Chris Boucher for the rest of the season for the Ducks. He tore his ACL.
That's a heartbreaking loss because he's their premier shot blocker and 12 points a game as well.
But Dylan Brooks can score. He hits the turnaround to get the Ducks out to a quick start. Then he ties the game at 12 here with a nice take to the
He has been the offense. He got up to 15 points, 15 out of their 19 points before he got some help.
Oregon up by 2. Look at Chance Comanche go up and throw it down to tie the game, and then Kadeem Allen coast to coast.
Arizona is the much bigger front line. They've got to continue to pound points in the paint.
5-point lead, approaching halftime over on ESPN. You can also stream it live on the ESPN app and on Watch ESPN. That will settle the Pac-12, some think. Potential 1 seed is on the line out west between the Wildcats and the Ducks. ACC championship game. It was Duke taking on Notre Dame, and Duke looking to win 4 games in 4 nights. Nobody's ever done that in the ACC tournament. Right to the second half, Duke down by 1. Frank Jackson changes that.
He has come on the last 12 games. He's averaged over 16 points a game, and they needed every point in this game.
But how about the pick and pop by the big guy, Bonzie Colson?
That gave him 29 points in the second half. He was on fire.
What a huge game for Colson. But Duke up by 1 here. Look at Jason Tatum. Under 2 minutes to go. Right down the lane, up and in for 2.
No one picked him up. The pickup point was right there at the basket.
And then Tatum once again off the inbounds play. And 1.
You know, Notre Dame is not known for defense, so don't confuse their strength. It's patient offense.
That put the capper on it. Tatum had 19 points to lead the Blue Devils, and Duke wins 75-69. Brent Rapp has 9 points. Roadrunners have a 9-point lead at the half in the WAC.
This halftime report is presented by Audi.
He's had a combined 3 points. He has 6 points in the first half. The Roadrunners with a 9-point lead. Let's take a look at which teams perform best this week with the Capital One Cup Impact Performance. And for that, we go to college baseball. LSU right now is at number 7 in the rankings. Defense getting it done for the Tigers. Weekend series with the Shockers of Wichita State, and getting it done with the Gloves where the Bayou Bengals, they take the victory 12-5 on Saturday. They'll finish the weekend series against Wichita State Sunday starting at 3 Eastern. Let's take a look at some other impact performances. Washington shutting out Penn State in softball 15-0. Duke taking it to a top 10. Loyola of Maryland in men's lacrosse. And in women's ice hockey, top seed of Wisconsin reached the Frozen Four with a 7-0 win. For more, visit ESPN.com/Capital One Cup.
Southland Championship game is Texas A&M Corpus Christi taking on New Orleans. Less than 20 seconds left.
New Orleans with a 3-point lead. It's over on ESPN2. You can stream it live on Watch ESPN. That for the Southland, which produced Stephen F. Austin, which busted some brackets certainly last season with Adrian Branch, Brendan Fitzgerald. All right, second half for Bakersfield, 9-point lead. This game is going exactly how they want it to.
That's right. Continue to be aggressive. But for the Aggies, they've got to settle themselves down. They've got 13 turnovers and only 4 made field goals. So they have to relax, try to get to the free throw line and simplify the game, play for one another. But it starts with poise and patience.
They had not a lot of field goal attempts. How do you get more shots if things aren't going your way?
Well, one thing you have to lock down and make, don't go as your offense goes, your defense goes. Flip the switch, and you have to lock it up defensively. So you've got to hold Bakersfield to one shot and done. Get out there and run. They want to play. They want to get to 80 points a game. Right now, they would be a stretch to get to 40 points. But again, I think it's to relax. It's about the making the adjustments and not beat yourself with bad shots.
20 minutes of basketball. New Mexico State just attempted 14 shots. They only made 4 of them, but they are still within 10 points. They are down 9 points out in the WAC championship game in a rematch from last season's game, which saw Bakersfield take down the Aggies. We'll see what happens in the second half. This has been the Audi Halftime Report.
A controlling first half here in Las Vegas for CSU Bakersfield over New Mexico State 29-20 in the WAC championships at the Orleans Arena. As we welcome you back inside the Orleans Arena alongside Paul Biancardi, I'm Eric Rothman, and the story of that first half, Paul, was the stifling defense of the Roadrunners.
Well, Bakersfield has 3 guys on the all-defensive team in the WAC. Tonight we see why they're one of the best defensive teams in the nation. They force turnovers at a high rate. They're active, they're alert, they anticipate with great awareness. Watch them fight off with this handoff. Fast feet and active hands, they pressure the ball when you pick the ball up with nowhere to go. Bakersfield is going to turn it into points. They rotate down on the weak side. They are everywhere before you pass the ball, so you got to get in a stance to make a pass. You have to fake passes, and then they convert on the other end. They have 13 points on 13 mistakes by New Mexico State.
holding New Mexico State, the Aggies, at 29% shooting, and you mentioned those 13 turnovers, 9 steals for the Roadrunners. 6 different players for CSU Bakersfield have at least 1 steal in this game.
New Mexico State only shooting 28% from the field, 0 from 3. They're 0 for 4. They really need to make a 3-point shot in the first 4 minutes to get their confidence up. I'm sure Coach Paul Weir talked about offense the whole time and had to coach confidence. It's a fragile thing, confidence, and when you lose it, it's like momentum.
Matt Smith fighting for his own offensive rebound. The Roadrunners looking to send New Mexico State home for a 2nd straight season in the WAC Conference Championship game here in the tournament in Las Vegas. Quick trigger 3, Arrington! The big bucket to start things off in the second half for Bakersfield.
Big time screen to free up Arrington.
The crossover by Baker and a kick out to Taylor. Little floater in the lane is good.
Couple of dribbles, they snap it to the open man. You have to move the ball quickly against this defense. To make the defense move, you got to play in the middle of the floor more if you're the Aggies. Don't get caught on the side of the baseline against this team. They'll swallow you up.
Taylor got the bucket. New Mexico State 2 leading scorers. Braxton Huggins and Ian Baker have not tallied a single point between the two in this game.
Well, that was the game plan for Coach Rod Barnes. Take those 2 guys away and you have a chance to win. Check out this flare screen by 22 in the white. Motez Ali. He frees up Arrington. Oh, that's a beautiful flare screen for a 3-point shot. If those go in, you're in trouble against Bakersfield.
Basil as the shot clock expires. Offensive rebound by Ali. Extra possessions are going to kill the Aggies if they allow Bakersfield to keep running clock. They take 25 seconds of possession, it seems like. Quicker this time as Arrington, a heat check on the right wing, and a loose ball foul underneath on Matt Smith, and we'll give it back to the Aggies.
You see Bakersfield very methodical, but very exact with their half-court offense. Good spacing, hard screening, fast cutting. And if the man's not open, they'll reset it again, get to their shot clock offense. They will not force a bad shot. They will keep you on defense for the whole possession.
You talked about it earlier in the game, but worth mentioning again, Coach Rod Barnes has got these guys to commit to understanding what their shortcomings are and committing for the defensive end and generating steals just like that. They're 10th of the game.
This team was down 8 with 4 minutes to go last night against Utah Valley. They were dead and buried. Their defense extended. They forced turnovers. In fact, they forced 28 for the game against Utah Valley. In the huddle, Rod Barnes said they were a confident group. They knew they could win, even down 8 with 4 minutes to go.
Offensive rebound again for Ali, and a foul underneath on the Aggies. Back-to-back offensive rebounds for Motaz Ali. And even playing in that game last night that Paul just mentioned against Utah Valley, a 4-overtime thriller. Bakersfield has been hyped since the jump and has not let up this entire game.
Well, both teams have to be tired. Bakersfield, 4-overtime game with a win. And then New Mexico State, they didn't start till after midnight, West Coast time. I'm sorry, they didn't finish till after midnight.
Mid-range jumper, Jalen Arrington. And a run out on the other end as we had 2 Roadrunners colliding. A foul on Bakersfield. Braxton Huggins to the free throw line.
How about this execution? Baseline out of bounds. Little screen to screener action. Arrington catch and shoot. Knocks it down. He leads the Roadrunners in scoring. 14 a game.
So now Braxton Huggins to the line. This is a guy, Paul, he's from Bakersfield. Plays for New Mexico State, went to Miramonte High School in Bakersfield, the first D1 player ever out of that high school. And now at New Mexico State, for what, at least at the moment, 2nd straight year, his hometown team is beating him in the championship game of the WAC tournament.
And he's been so hot last 4 games. Huggins, 52% from the field. He's shooting 48% from 3. He leads the WAC in 3-point field goal percentage. They are taking him right out of the game, as well as Ian Baker, 4 in the black.
It's just the first 2 points of the night for Braxton Huggins. Ian Baker has scoreless.
I'd like to see the Aggies try to speed this game up with some full court traffic. Look at those hard screens in the middle of the floor.
Lob it inside to Ali. Stripped, stolen, good hands by Eli Chua.
Chua with good defense. Now they got to make them pay, the Aggies.
And they can't do it. The Aggies throw it away. 15th turnover on New Mexico State.
I mean, this is not a big team, CSU Bakersfield, in terms of height. They do have a couple of bigs, but they're quick. They move to spots on the floor before you get there and before the ball gets there. Outstanding anticipation.
Big guys that they do have been doing their job tonight.
But there's only a moment of opportunity against this defense when you can score.
Five on the shot clock. Briggs nowhere to go. He picked up his dribble. Arrington for 3. And with that, Jalen Arrington has 1,000 career points, and it's a 13-point lead for Bakersfield. Spot up 3 for Taylor. No. Offensive rebound by Jones. Stripped, got it back, popped loose after the miss. A third opportunity for the Aggies. Chua and 1 off the glass.
A big time and much needed bucket for the Aggies. Jalen Arrington has been struggling over the last 5 games. Not tonight. Championship's on the line. Catch and shoot, knock down 3. The Aggies come right back at you. Chua inside, determined. Beautiful hook with a chance for an extra free throw.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by the all-new Alfa Romeo Giulia. Some cars take your breath away, only one gives it back.
Chance for a 3-point play out of the break for New Mexico State, who is trailing CSU Bakersfield 37-26. Aggies head coach Paul Weir looking for some answers. The answers tonight for the Aggies have, for better or for worse, come from the free throw line, where 14 of their 26 points have come at the charity stripe. Eric Roth and Paul Biancardi with you at the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas. And Eli Chua has started to get things going, but we've already talked about it. Their 2 leading scorers for the Aggies have a combined 2 points, Braxton Huggins and Ian Baker. Not enough to keep pace with Bakersfield.
And a combined only 2 field goals attempted.
Yeah.
That's not going to cut it in a championship game. Your best 2 players only have 2 shots.
Backdoor cut, good idea, but an errant pass by Sean Briggs out of bounds.
Really good defense by the Aggies. The ability to deny on one end and recover for the back cut. Outstanding. But it's been the turnovers that have killed the Aggies. 15. And most of these turnovers, Eric, have been by passing and catching.
Baker still searching for his first field goal of the game.
You know, just simple passing and catching to each other.
No look feed. Matt Smith is fouled from behind. Nice pass by Jalen Arrington.
Great pass. Up ahead, transition basket. Arrington trying to get the finish. You have to make sure you don't give any easy shots in a championship game.
These 2 teams split the season series. First meeting was won by New Mexico State back January 14th, 63-58. And then Rod Barnes and CSU Bakersfield winning the second matchup on February 9th, 72-53. That win by Bakersfield snapped a 20-game winning streak by New Mexico State, who lost that game, ended up losing 3 of 4, and have been trying to regroup ever since, falling to the number 2 seed going into the WAC tournament as Eli Chua, the offensive rebound after the air ball and a putback.
We talked about New Mexico State trying to find points. The offensive glass is one of the best places, especially when you're shooting a low percentage like they are tonight.
8th offensive rebound for New Mexico State. One statistical category that New Mexico State is actually beating CSU Bakersfield in tonight, and that is total rebounds. 3 on the shot clock. Basil a mile away. Smith, offensive rebound. Got it again. And a held ball. Possession switches it up to New Mexico State.
Watch 0 in the white. Matt Smith. This is just wanting it more. He gets that rebound in traffic with 3 Aggies around him. The persistency to fight for possession.
Baker, ball fake, trapped in the air.
That's a championship effort right there by Matt Smith.
Baker finally hits his first field goal. It's a triple.
Baker had a good look. That was a rhythm jump shot. Good passing, good spacing. The Aggies need to stop.
Down to a single-digit lead for Bakersfield, up by 8. 14 minutes to play in regulation. Offensive foul, illegal screen on Matt Smith. And I think Matt Smith has a pretty darn good argument as to why he is upset
Well,
that foul.
That was right to our left. 0. Is he stationary? He is, but he didn't give the defender a step. Came up right behind him. I think that's where the official went with that call.
39-31, Bakersfield on top of New Mexico State. Under 14 minutes to play here in Las Vegas. Coming up on Selection Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern, Bracketology presented by Allstate with Reese, Jay Williams, Jay Pillis, Seth Greenberg, Dickie V, and a host of our college hoops experts. They'll have complete breakdowns of each region. Sports Center with SVP starts us off at 5:15 on ESPN with the reveal of the NCAA men's field of 68 as the teams are announced. He'll begin the show with full breakdowns of the SEC, Big Ten, and America Championship. Both are also streaming live on ESPN app and watch ESPN.
Is your alma mater, Syracuse, getting in?
They're getting in.
Why?
Because why not? The ACC. The strength of that league, I think, gets the orange in. Big wins at home, knocking off a couple of top 10 teams. Joe Lunardi has them as the last 4 in right now.
Yeah, I got them in as well. Their strength of schedule, top 12 in the nation. That's what gets them into me. They've played a really challenging schedule. They have 5 wins in the top 50. The Aggies making a comeback right here. Right now, only down 2 possessions. They're shooting awful from the field and from 3.
Basil stops an 8-0 run for New Mexico State and puts Bakersfield back up by 7.
And the assist from Rapp always finds the open guy on time and on target.
Offensive foul, a charge called on Ian Baker.
Well, he gets through. That's where he's got to pull up. See, after he beats his man, there's an open pocket of space. He's got to pull up and shoot it or come to a jump stop. When you make a pass, jumping up in the air, that's only going to lead to an offensive foul.
Baker's frustrated night continues as he has just had 4 field goal attempts, but he has made his last 2. 6 points by way of 2 3-pointers.
Just an outstanding player. The WAC Player of the Year this year. First team 2 times in his career. He can really light it up. He needs to step up big here in the last 12 minutes for the Aggies. And part of him stepping up, his teammates have to get him the ball.
Briggs the turnaround. Strong rebound by Chua. Baker trying to get something going. Good crossover dribble, and he draws a foul. Jalen Arrington whistling for the personal. Long inbounds pass and another 3. This time, it's Chance Ellis, the sophomore out of Queens, New York.
Well, that time, Bakersfield was sleeping on the sideline out of bounds. Beautiful pass by Baker. Big time shot for Ellis. Here come the Aggies.
Aggies started 0 for 6 from three-point range. They've hit their last 3. Hazel can't answer. Ball knocked loose, kept alive, and it's Aggie basketball.
Big time hustle play by Jones.
Chua backing in Endoy, and a foul on Falou Endoy.
Ian Baker with the cross-court pass. Ellis toes the line, knocks it down. Defense sleeping on the weak side. The Aggies are awake right now.
The Aggies have awoken. New Mexico State trailing by 4 to CSU Bakersfield. They trailed by as many as 13. And Paul Biancardi, what have they done to get back into this one?
Well, the first thing, they've ratcheted up the intensity. Jamario Jones with the save. That's a momentum-changing play. They're attacking the rim inside. Chua with a three-point play. And on the offensive glass for some second-chance points, Ian Baker, the WAC Player of the Year, knocks down a 3, and then he makes a beautiful assist to Chance Ellis. A pair of threes, some hustle plays, some inside scoring. The Aggies are right back in it.
Aggies have made their last 3 three-point attempts after starting the game 0 for 6. Aggies have not led since the opening 5 minutes of this ball game, and they are creeping ever closer. This time, Jamario Jones, the finger roll.
When we talked about confidence and momentum, it has now shifted in the favor of New Mexico State. The first half, it was all Bakersfield defensively. New Mexico State had 13 turnovers in the first half. They looked like they were getting ready to get blown out here in this championship game. They've come on strong.
Bakersfield did play a 4-overtime game less than 24 hours ago. So maybe it's starting to catch up with the Roadrunners a little bit. Seems like the adrenaline is pumping for the Aggies, down by 2. Wrap for 3. Lips out. And a chance for the Aggies to tie or take the lead. Just over 11 minutes to play. Baker can't find the 3.
But I like the confidence that Baker has in himself to take that shot right there. He wants the basketball. He needs a high ball screen in the middle of the floor.
A hustle by Jamario Jones for the steal. Mismatch. And a kick out. This time Jones ties it up at 41.
Jamario Jones, 10 in the black. That elbow jump shot. Defense not the same for Bakersfield right now. They need to start scoring.
Briggs, good post move. Got his own offensive rebound. A foul on Briggs will send it the Aggies' direction.
That's the weakness of Bakersfield, the inability to score. Last 3 minutes, they have no points, but their defense keeps them in the game. It's outstanding how they play defense at such a high level without scoring. And the Aggies right now, they average 79 a game. They scored at 47%. That's best in the WAC. They're not there yet, but they're on their way.
Mexico State has not led for nearly 30 minutes of game time. Chua can't give him the lead from the free throw line. Mexico State now in the bonus. 7th foul on Bakersfield.
And with their improved offense, the Aggies have really stepped up their defense.
Midway through the second half, still plenty of time in this one. Harrington, pick and roll. Smith rejected inside.
Jones got a piece of that on the weak side.
Jones clapping his hands as he trots down. Ellis, he hit one already from that corner, misses there. A run out for Bakersfield. And a collision and an offensive foul on the Roadrunners.
Well, the push by Bakersfield. Great defensive transition by New Mexico State.
Braxton Huggins got back, took the charge, foul on Damian Durham.
Well, for a guy who makes a lot of threes and takes a lot of threes, Braxton Huggins with the defense, impressive.
Standing in the face of contact. (41-41) CSU Bakersfield. Tournament challenge. Let's take a look at it. The resume brought to you by Allstate and Paul Biancardi. We see here, according to Joe Lenardi, USC, the Trojans, first one out right now. What say you when you look at those stats?
Well, I love their wins. SMU, an outstanding team all season long, and UCLA, the best offensive team in the country. You look at their RPI and their BPI rank, good, not great. Strength of schedule, not all that impressive. But 6 and 8 against top 100 teams. Pac-12 was really strong at the top.
Question is, not only does USC get in, but does a Pac-12 team find themselves on the top seed going into the tournament?
I think so. If Arizona can beat Oregon tonight in that Pac-12 championship, they're right across the street. What about Duke? Winning the ACC tournament, so impressive. They were coming in as a 3 seed into the tournament. Duke wins against North Carolina and Notre Dame, put them on the 1 seed. If Arizona wins the Pac-12, they're sitting at a 2 seed going in. Can they bump to a 1 seed? Who bumps out?
Right.
Maybe Kansas, because they lost early in the tournament. North Carolina won a game, but then they lost to Duke. I don't think it's North Carolina. If there's any team that gets bumped, in my opinion, it's Kansas.
Which team from this game will be headed to the big dance? That is the question. WAC looking to punch a ticket. Will it be Bakersfield for the 2nd straight year? Will it be New Mexico for the 5th time in 6 years? A huge three-pointer for Chance Ellis, and the Aggies are up by 3.
Well, this guy played his high school basketball at St. Andrews in Rhode Island for head coach Mike Hart. He made 113 threes in his senior year. He could find the rim.
Briggs spin, double team, got his own rebound. Can't finish at the cup.
So you got Ellis, who's getting hot right now, number 3 in the black. Braxton Huggins, the best three-point shooter in the WAC, number 2.
Turnaround, Baker, back-to-back threes for New Mexico State. Basil not wasting any time, a lot of contact, no whistle. Alley-oop attempt goes out of bounds. Bakersfield has not scored a point in the last 5 minutes of play.
Here comes the Aggies, and it's the 3-point shot. Chance Ellis, a little dribble step back. But how about Ian Baker, the WAC player of the year? Nothing but net.
All 3 of his field goals tonight have been the 3-point variety. It's a 13-0 run for the Aggies.
And the common theme in those 2 shots, Eric, they were open. Is Bakersfield getting a little tired after that 4-overtime game last night? A tremendous first half they played defensively.
They forced 14 turnovers in that first half, only 3 so far here in the second.
They're not moving on the airtime of the ball like they did in the first half.
Harrington pacing and an offensive foul underneath called on Motaz Ali. Everything going the way of the Aggies. 13-0 run. New Mexico State has overtaken Bakersfield with under 8 to play. Trey Bell Hayes inside, count the basket, and the foul. Henson converts.
We're just tough. I told the guys we're gonna win. Just believe it happened.
Behind the back, beaten with the jam.
Get the trophy ready. It's going to Durham.
Man, it just don't feel real right now, but nevertheless, it do feel good.
Always feels good to get that ticket punched. And Iowa State, Vermont, NC Central, Nevada, Texas Southern, Villanova, Middle Tennessee State, North Dakota, Duke, New Orleans. There's still one space left on that graphic. Will it be New Mexico State or CSU Bakersfield?
Is there any more pressure in college basketball than a mid-major who has to win their conference tournament to get into the NCAA dance? I mean, you think about what you do all season long. It's important, but it usually doesn't get you in. It's 3 days in March that determines your success.
Both of these two teams, impressive regular season resumes. 27-5, New Mexico, CSU Bakersfield 22-8. It's a 6-point advantage for the Aggies. Eric Rothman, Paul Biancardi with you. A part of Champ Week from the Orleans Arena in Vegas, and the Aggie faithful are on their feet and not sitting down. A 13-0 run with 2 on the shot clock. Baker. Airmail. Hazel all alone, needs some help. Now a whistle. It will be on Chance Ellis for New Mexico State.
New Mexico State with a tremendous comeback in this game. They were down 13 points in the first half, now +8. But remember last night, Bakersfield was down 8 with 4 minutes to go, didn't panic. Came back, put it into 4 overtimes and won it.
Arrington got his legs back on that one. Free throw line jumper ends the skid. As CSU Bakersfield, their first made field goal in their last 9 attempts.
And when it comes to half-court grinded out game, you need a star. Arrington is the star for Bakersfield. You need that go-to guy who can get a bucket. Looks like they're well rested after that timeout, Bakersfield.
4 on the shot clock, and Baker is swarmed and fouled. And Baker, who had 0 points in that first half, has knocked down 3 triples here in the second and being more aggressive with the basketball.
Eric, in the last 10 games, Ian Baker, 17 for 66 from 3, only 26%. He comes into this WAC tournament cold. He's hot right now.
3 for 4 from beyond the arc tonight.
But that's what happens with great players. It's never what happened last, it's about what happens next.
Baker, the team's leading scorer, misses the back end. Aggies up 5. Basil beating the flying Jamario Jones for the lay-in.
This is an experienced, tough-minded team, Bakersfield. They beat you with their defense. If they can get some offense, they're a tough team to play against.
Good control by Jones, lost it on the second effort. Loose ball, out of bounds, stays with the Aggies.
Bakersfield must have at least 25 deflections in this game. How about Basil? The fake at the three-point line, the blow-by dribble.
So now the Bakersfield bench getting a warning, has to be seated. Aggies basketball, 9 on the shot clock, just over 6 minutes to play in regulation time.
Shua just needs to take him.
He does, high off the glass, and a whistle from the far side. Referee Mike Green blows it.
And I say that because the big fella has fluid footwork in the paint. Long arm, soft touch. He has the ability to score one-on-one with his back to the basket. Does a great job on the glass, almost 10 rebounds per game.
He's 1 rebound away from a double-double tonight with his 10 points, making 11. Champ Week and all its drama continues Sunday with 2 more championship games on ESPN. The SEC title game at 1 Eastern, and then the final automatic tourney ticket will be punched with the winner of the Frontier Communications American Championship game. That one tips at 3:15, and as always, both games streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. Brent Rapp. Picked up by Jones. The run out short. Baker the putback for the Aggies. Basil quickly the other way. Makes his mark for the Roadrunners.
Well, this is what the Aggies want. Up and down. No whistles. Let's get it on.
Aggies up 4. Can't add to it. Long rebound brought in by Arrington. Loose ball. Corralled by Jones.
The pace has changed.
Huggins misses another 3.
Bakersfield really needs to slow it down. Work the shot clock to get a good shot. Or just keep the Aggies on defense. You don't want to go up and down with this team.
Blow by. Arrington, the one-hand slam. And now the blue and gold on their feet here in Vegas.
Nice little cross screen action in the paint.
Chua calling for it. Moves into the paint, tied up and fouled.
Check out the half-court execution by the Roadrunners. Little cross screen inside, little down screen for Arrington. One dribble, flushes it. Just simple basketball, good spacing. The Aggies come right back and go inside to Chua. They run a little ball screen, they throw it back, and then they throw it inside. I'll tell you what, the Aggies are doing a very good job staying in the middle of the floor with the basketball, trying to take the help side away so they can punch it inside. And Chua loves that left block. Loves that left block so he can get to his right hand.
And the first half and second half difference, Jekyll and Hyde between New Mexico State and their performance early on and what it's at now. 29% shooting in the first, 50% here in the second. And they have gotten some big three-point shots, something they had 0 of in the first half.
They made some great hustle plays. They've made some stops. And those 2 threes by Ellis and Baker really got them going.
Bakersfield down by 3, under 4.5 to play in regulation. Eric Rothman, Paul Biancardi with you. Floater off the mark. Basil can't hit. These two teams repeating the performance we saw in last year's WAC Tournament Championship game.
You see the ball screen in the middle of the floor. They're going to throw it back, or Baker's going to take it.
What a touch by Ian Baker, who all of a sudden is now up to 14 points.
It's that simple action in the middle of the floor. If you don't hedge it, he's going to score, and if you do, they're going to throw it back and throw it inside.
Smith strong to the rack. Ian Baker, 0 points in the first half, 14 points here in the second. The difference maker as the Aggies are up 3.
That ball screen right in the middle of the floor. Takes all the help away. Chua was wide open inside for a minute.
Chua fighting down there with Matt Smith to get position. 7 on the shot clock. Taylor for 3. Buries it! Taylor up to 9 points, and it's a 6-point advantage for the Aggies. 3 minutes to play in regulation. Bakersfield needs an answer. Durham, the drive. Nice touch off the glass for Damian Durham.
New Mexico State, they feed off their offense. It helps their defense. For CSU Bakersfield, it's the opposite. Their defense feeds their offense.
Baker draws the double. Aggies swinging it around the perimeter with 10 on the shot clock. Now Baker inside, Chua, and 1!
I saw a tired team on that possession by Bakersfield. The Aggies coming on strong. Baker to Chua. WAC championship on the line. New Mexico State up 6.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by One A Day Men's and Women's. And the new Alfa Romeo Giulia. Some cars take your breath away, only one gives it back.
Largest lead of the night for New Mexico State, up by 6 over CSU Bakersfield in the WAC championship from Las Vegas. Under 2.5 minutes to play in regulation. Eric Rothman, Paul Biancardi with you. And for head coach Rod Barnes, Paul, the foul trouble for the Roadrunners is starting to stretch them thin.
Well, they've committed 26 fouls, and a lot of that is because of fatigue. They have gotten tired in the second half. New Mexico State 17 for 26 right now from the free throw line, making 18 for 27. They've done a really good job in the second half, taking it to the rim. The other thing that's changed this game, the Aggies have 18 points off of threes. They had 0 in the first half.
Motaz Ali, Matt Smith already fouled out for the Roadrunners. Basil trying to find a hole to penetrate.
Mexico State looks energized on defense, don't they, Eric?
5 on the shot clock. They are swarming Bakersfield, but then bail out Sean Briggs with a late foul. 3 on the shot clock.
They played great defense, the Aggies, for about 25 seconds. And the blow-by dribble, and once you get a path to the basket, the help side comes, the dump down, now you're at the free throw line.
Mexico State on defense almost flipping the script of what we saw in the first half.
They look like the Roadrunners right now defensively.
Bakersfield needs to hit their free throw shots. As the Roadrunners, time not in their favor, especially for a slow-moving offense. Sean Briggs, 6 points, getting some help inside now as Ballou and Doy checks back into the game.
Think about the momentum and how it's shifted here in the second half in the last 12 minutes. You know, the funny thing about momentum, you know when it's happening, but you just don't know how to stop it.
Briggs can't stop it from the free throw line. 7-point advantage for the Aggies. And a foul. That is not a great foul for Justin Pride, who just checked into the game for the first time tonight. Commits the foul 30 feet away from the basket with New Mexico State in the double bonus.
Bakersfield was the aggressor for the entire 20 minutes in the first half. But in the second half, New Mexico State come out with a lot of life, a lot of energy. They made those three-point shots at about the 12-minute mark, and that's when it all started to change. They made a few hustle plays, got a few stops. Bakersfield went on a scoring drought for a few minutes. Next thing you know, New Mexico State had an 8-point lead.
Bakersfield running on fumes. Played in a 4-overtime thriller just to get into this game last night against Utah Valley.
And if they score, they need to extend their pressure. Go full court man.
Rapp off the rim and a foul as the Roadrunners are starting to swipe at anything they can get their hands on. Aggies looking to put this one out of reach from the free throw line. The Aggies tonight have shot 29 free throws. This will be number 30 and 31. Bakersfield has shot just 11.
New Mexico State, a good free throw shooting team at 71%.
21 of 30 so far tonight, with Braxton Huggins to the line. All 5 of his points have come from the charity stripe.
We talked about Huggins and Baker not scoring in the first half. Right now they have a total of 20.
10-2 run for the Aggies. Do the Roadrunners have anything left? Basil fouled. Third personal on Ian Baker will send Basil to the line for the 1-and-1 in the bonus.
So right now, if you're Bakersfield, you're ready for the miss to get the offensive rebound. If he makes this one, Look for Bakersfield to go full court man-to-man or a full court zone press. They did this against Utah Valley last night, put the game in overtime. They were down 8 with 4 minutes to go. Can they do it again?
Aggressive defense, picking up full court, hoping for a turnover. Good hands by Chua. Aggies break the timeline, under a minute and a half to play. Ball loose. Kick ball.
It was close. It was close to a steal or a turnover.
Instead, it will be a side out inbounds for the Aggies as we get a quick mop up of the floor.
Now, if you're New Mexico State, don't take your foot off the gas pedal. This is what got you the lead. Get a 9-point lead with a minute 39. Break pressure. Look to attack it. Look to score off of it. You can sense that Bakersfield is tired right now.
Absolutely.
So if you just break it and pull it back out, Bakersfield's going to try to get a trap or a press.
They had the steal, but a whistle.
You got to be strong with the ball, hold it with 2 hands, pivot, be secure, make your passes very short to each other.
Coach Barnes thought his team had a turnover there. Instead, it's a foul on Sean Briggs. And back to the free throw line goes Eli Chua. This will be his 14th and 15th free throw attempt of the night. He's 7 for 13 so far. They get 8 for 14 as he has extended the Aggies' lead out to 10.
Second team all-WAC selection. He's got 14 double-doubles this season. That leads the WAC, and he's going to be an outstanding junior next season.
Aggies looking to get back to the NCAA tournament and looking for the most wins in school history. It would be their 28th on the season. Turnaround 3, Durham off the heel. Offensive rebound by Rapp, and he is fouled. Rapp to the free throw line, and Paul Rapp was so effective in that first half, especially on the defensive end. They had a couple of big buckets, hit a 3 early, but he has all but disappeared here in the second.
Well, he's been quiet. He impacts the game without scoring. Excellent assist maker, big time steal guy, great help defender, makes timely shots, but he lost his aggressiveness in the second half. New Mexico State capitalized.
It'd be just a matter of fatigue, but either way, New Mexico State will take the advantage. Barely getting it over the timeline. Chua was calling for it. 1 minute to play here in regulation. New Mexico State trying to get their ticket punched as Ian Baker will go to the free throw line. Paul Weir, first season as head coach for the Aggies, and what a tremendous job he has done with this group. 9 years serving as the assistant coach and associate head coach at different times for the Aggies, defensive specialist, but he has brought an up-tempo style to this Aggies team, got this team conditioned to run, and run have they ever here in the second half.
Well, you have to know your personnel and how your team likes to play. Then you have to emphasize it and be committed to it.
Durham, quick 3, clanks off the backboard. Rebounded by the Aggies, and Bakersfield forced a foul.
Well, if the Aggies hold on, Joe Lenardi has this WAC championship game winner at a 14 seed. You look at the makeup of New Mexico State. They score 79 points a game. They scored at 47%. That's pretty strong. They're a very good team defensively against the three-point shot. They have enough size and athletes in the front court.
And they've gotten help off the bench, especially from this guy, Chance Ellis.
Yeah, they shoot the three-point shot with Baker, Huggins, Ellis. This is a scrappy, offensive-minded team that plays without any fear. When you come to play against them in the NCAA tournament, you have to show up.
Overcoming a 13-point first half deficit, the Aggies are up by 11. The final 40 seconds of this one at the Orleans Arena. And Bakersfield has just gone cold late in the second half. They just haven't had the legs or the tenacity to keep up with the Aggies' fast pace. Basil, high arcing three is good. Diedrich Basil cuts it down to now an 8-point game.
Well, now if you're Bakersfield, it's simple. You got to play the foul game. You have to face guard, try to get a steal right here on the inbounds. If not, time is not on your side. Quick foul. Hope they miss. Come down, push it right to the rim. Set up your defense.
One guy they cannot afford to foul is Ian Baker, the senior from New Mexico State. He's an 84% free throw shooter, but he has come alive here in the second half. He's got 15 points total. All of them have come in the second 20 minutes of play.
Well, if you don't want him to go to the free throw line, don't let him catch the ball on the inbounds. Ian Baker playing in the middle of the floor in the second half. Comes off that ball screen with the pull-up jump shot or the three-point shot. He's been outstanding.
Baker is the inbounder. Gets it ahead to Huggins. No whistle, and now Huggins pulled down from behind. Under 30 seconds to play, the foul on Rapp.
It's a double bonus, so 2 shots.
It will be Huggins to the free throw line. The Bakersfield native, 79% free throw shooter, had to watch his hometown team, Bakersfield, beat him and the Aggies last year in this very same game on a buzzer beater by Diedrich Basil. And this year, Braxton Huggins looking to exact revenge. And they are just 28 seconds away from doing it, up by 10. Long three from Basil, straight away, misses everything. And the Aggies bench on their feet.
What a tremendous second half by New Mexico State. And give Rod Barnes and the Roadrunners a lot of credit on a great season. Tremendous fight, but the Aggies were too much on the offensive end tonight. WAC champions.
New Mexico State and first-year head coach Paul Weir are heading back to the NCAA tournament for the 5th time in 6 years. The Aggies are the WAC champions. Mexico State, a 28-win season, the most wins ever in program history in a single season, and they cap it off by taking down the same team that beat them last year in this very same game. The WAC basketball tournament all-tournament team includes 3 players from New Mexico State, Chua, Huggins, and the MVP, Ian Baker. And New Mexico State, the Aggies, will be dancing for the 5th time in 6 years. Trailed by as many as 13 points in the first half. Baker had 0 points in the first, 15 in the second to lead the comeback. And the Aggies, a 10-point victory here in Las Vegas. For my entire crew, Paul Biancardi, myself, Eric Rothman, saying so long from the Orleans Arena. The Aggies are going dancing.